Being a YouTuber, I have a lot of camera mounts and tripods. I have this one, which does my main filming, all of my shoulder cam shots, all of my steady cam shots, anytime that I have to film myself and walk around or anything like that. Most of that filming is done with this guy. It also fits like my Switch, so if I feel like sitting down and using it in mobile mode, if I'm out and about, then that's what I do that with. This little guy used to be my primary filming mount before I switched to that one, and currently its only purpose is to watch videos on my phone in widescreen so that I don't have to hold it up at eye level, or it's easier on my neck. Then, of course, I have the one that you're currently mounted into right now, a traditional camera tripod with all of the windy knobs and the up and downy bits, and I have one more camera mount. I have this guy, which was supposed to be a replacement for this guy. See, this one is too weak, but this one has the opposite problem. It is much too strong, so while I feel like my phone is going to fall out of this one all the time, I feel like this one is going to destroy my phone by too much clamping pressure. It only has the one setting, unlike the screw-based one that I can just be careful with. So I was looking for another use for this, and I think I have an idea. I'm going to use this and this to make myself a little lighting stand for when I need to get difficult shots that require some additional lighting. I'm going to need to make a spacer for this, though, because it doesn't get tall enough that way in order to hold it, and it obviously doesn't fit this way either, so let's make a little something and plan it around the geometry of this thing. So for starters, I need to make this a lot lighter in order to make that rinky-dink little tripod not flip over immediately. So let's get all of this off. There we go. That'll work. I think including that knot in this little piece of scrap wood would be a nice touch. So I'm gonna, in order to size this, I'm gonna get that to about right there. And just kind of make a line about here, and it'll spring by quite a bit, so I can assume that I can measure from the bottom there. Let's see. Yeah, that'll fit. Now, how tall does this thing have to be? Let's get it to about there. And give it a little extra for compression's sake, and we'll call it about like that. This is just an approximation, too. Now, this is a technique that I wanted to try for a while. First order of business, I need to accommodate for that little ridge right there. So I'm going to set that in to size. I'm going to sight it to about right there. I went and fetched my original marking gauge because it's nice and fast, and I like it. And it also has the advantage that it's very easy for me to just set it into that little mark right there and slide the base up and to use that to set a line. Then I'm going to transfer that, get a good firm grip on it. I'm pushing it into the side there where it's squared. And check and make sure that it's set properly. Then I'm going to use that to describe my line. Very good. I really like this marking gauge. I need to make a better version of this. My camera lost the footage of how I made this little recess here, so I'm going to replicate the process right there. I had it clamped this way. It took my smallest chisel that was still larger than the cut that I want to make, and then I started out by getting the end of this off. Then I established myself a shoulder. out. Now came over the top of it like this, and then just easing it in with the hand pressure. Don't want to extend too far. I'm back from the end a little bit. Getting down very close. Now I'm beveled down. I'm going to make light strokes. To get down just barely to that line. There we go. Nice smooth bottom recess. Now that covers retaining it this way, but for retaining it this way I want a little lip, and it's getting awfully close to that knot hole on that side, so I think I'm gonna only put a lip on one side and then I'll fix it later if it goes wrong. So for starters, I have it marked right there at the corner, and it's pretty easy to see, and I'm just gonna transfer that line over. I'm going to take my chisel and then just nice and easy pare to that line, because it doesn't have to be terribly deep. Now that'll work okay, but you know what would work a lot better? Is if that was cupped a little bit to better receive this piece. So that's what I'm going to do. By employing my gouge set, I'm going to find a gouge that will take the angle pretty nicely. That's going to be a little too thin. Ooh, that's a nice comfortable fit. Alright, so that's the gouge I'm using. These are really cheap, like Harbor Freight gouges. So now, I'm realizing that I probably should have done this part last. But here we are. Now with gouges, you kind of only have the bevel down option. Actually gonna eyeball myself a center line there. So, give me something to follow. I'm leaving about 1/8 of an inch on each side here. That'll do it. Take some light full-length passes. Let's see. The clip might be a little bit of a problem, but it's overall pretty darn close. That feels pretty sturdy in there too, so that you can see it. There, not bad. I might set that a little bit deeper, run these a little closer to the edge, but I don't want it to get too close because too acute of a corner there is just gonna break. Yeah, I think that's a good place to stop. Alright, let's try to bring this all together. Tightened up there. That works reasonably well. Yeah, I can use that to grapple onto things. Yeah, that's my new lighting stand. And I can use different flashlights for this too, because not all of mine have the same form factor. Yeah, that works really well. Nice. Don't just look for a product. Produce.